But 10,200 means they only have $609 in cash flow per month. So can we work off debt with $609 in cash flow? Sure, we can slowly work through the debt, or we could use Money Max. Money Max will help us, But what else could we do that would change everything that's going on in this family's life right now? And they have a medical issues going on top of this, okay? So they maybe go over this expense. They have a lot of things going on in their lives, as you may have. So when I worked with this couple today, I thought, what happens if we take all of this high interest that they're paying and we find another tool at the bank that may reduce the interest and help them to breathe a little bit? So when we ran some numbers and we went through a few things, I'll write it out here for you just so you can see what this looks like. We talked about with them that maybe, just maybe, they could do a first lien because their mortgage is at $224,000, right? But they have it's like the value was right around $500,000. But what I did was I took 400 just so to make sure we have plenty of room to work. So 400,000 for their value of their home. Took that times 85% because they're in a state that allows up to 85%. So let's do the math. 400,000 times 85% is 340,000. So with their credit scores being over 700, they could be approved for $340,000 in a line of credit. Now, remember, the line of credit is revolving. So let's talk about that. The revolving line of credit. Okay, so when it's revolving, that means the income goes in and then you can pull your expenses back out. Do you remember what I said about the mortgage just now? Remember when I told you that $1,000 payment went into the mortgage, but only $100 actually came off of the balance? Well, what happens when I put $1,000 into this line? I can pull it back out again if I need to. That's revolving. What if I put $100 into this line? I can pull it right back out again. What if I put my whole paycheck of $10,200 into this line? What happens if I have $9,591 that has to come back out of this account? What happens? Then all of the 10,000 went in, but if you remember, the 9551 means I have $609 that's sitting here that I can pull back out again. Even if I'm going to leave the whole 10,000 in here to cover the stuff we currently have, what if I need to buy new shoes for the kids? What if the refrigerator breaks and I have to buy a new one? The line of credit revolves. Okay, so because you can put your income in, you can pull it back out if you need it. That makes this line of credit most effective for debt elimination as well. When you put the $100 or the $1,000 into the mortgage, can you just go back in there and pull it back out again? No, we all know that. Once you make a loan payment, it's gone. But once you make a payment into a line, it's available for you to pull it back out again. That's what the beautiful thing is about using a revolving line of credit. So if you look at your banks, call them up, talk to them, drop in, say, hey, could you tell me a little bit about what kind of revolving lines of credit that you have? If you get somebody that knows anything about what they do for their job at the bank, you might get some good answers, but you might, as soon as you ask for that line of credit, I'm not even going to say you might, I'm going to say you will get somebody that says, well, the loan is the better option. You need to go with the loan because it has a lower interest rate. Probably the most aggravating phrase I hear every day. Well, the banker told me that I need to get a loan because the interest rate is lower. I'm like, oh, okay, well, let's do the math. Okay. So when you do the math and you understand what the difference is between the amortization schedule and the simple interest product or tool, then you learn that, wait a minute, 8% on a line of credit is less than 3% on a mortgage? What? Yes. Some of you don't know that you don't know. That almost sounded rude, but you may be sitting there thinking, this lady is crazy. What is she talking about? Because we can look at the interest rate and we can tell that a 3% mortgage rate, of course, that's less than an 8% line of credit. Is it? Is it really? Study what the amortization schedule is before you answer that question. We just need to get educated. Okay, so let's go back to where we were talking about what this is going to look like. So I told you that the value of this home for this couple I worked with was $400,000.